Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Alicia. Today we are going to be creating a dessert mandala, and I just up front want to apologize for the camera. I have a new camera. I'm not just using my phone. It's not really a new camera, I guess. It's technically an old camera, but I'm using a different camera is the point I'm trying to make here. Very badly, but still the point I'm trying to make. Still working things out with the camera. So I do apologize. It kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit different. It's different than my phone, and it was weird. And I did not realize until I'd already filmed everything and it was all done. And I had actually tried to do a different video. I had a different idea and it didn't completely work because it took me so long to finish it. So I think maybe that one will perhaps be a bonus video. I'm not quite sure. But I do apologize for the camera. I am learning and I'm very new to this whole camera thing, and I'm not used to doing anything other than just speed paints of my exported screen video. I don't know. Which is usually what I do share of my mandalas, but I thought it would be fun to see the actual process, I guess. So you can do this yourself on Procreate. When you are creating your new canvas, for myself, I use the paper size because I make mine into printables. They are available on my website if you want to download them there. My nephew is the sole reason why I really make them, because he just really likes them. So I started creating mandalas for him, and now I kind of just put them on my website. But you can just create your canvas. Then you're going to set your drawing guide. You click Edit Drawing Guide, choose Symmetry, and then you can choose what kind. So you choose your option. It's radial, and then I usually choose rotational symmetry as well. But then yeah, you can go about creating it. So the whole idea behind this one was I wanted to create a big donut. I don't know why, but I did. So that's kind of how it started. And I thought it would be interesting to see the actual process. And you can see I don't do a lot of sketching or anything like that. I don't do really like a rough. I kind of try to make it all go in one. I like that because one, it kind of just, it means that I can just draw and I don't really think about it. And I don't try for them to be perfect because I like the doodle aspect, the doodle look of it. So it works out well that way. And I mean, my nephew likes them no matter how they look. So he's, he's not a harsh critique. So, he enjoys coloring them no matter what. So yeah, and that's how I like to do them. I like to make it look as doodly as possible. That being said, I'm also, as you can see, very picky about kind of everything. I think it took me a very long time to create that donut. But yeah, so then I will also, you see, I do more than one layer, I guess would be the one difference. More so because it's easier to then delete things if I need to, or erase things without having to worry about moving other stuff or hitting other stuff with my eraser and things like that. I am notorious for finding random little dots everywhere because I just randomly do that. So I just find that layers can help. You always want to make sure that you have the drawing assist on, though. That way you get that, I don't know what you call it, symmetry. That's why I have drawing assist on. That's why I draw one thing, but it copies it all over. So I did try doing a ice cream right after this. I like ice cream, and it kind of started with, what are things I like? I don't really care for donuts. I only like the old-fashioned plain donuts, but I just love the look of a donut. So that's why I did the donut. And then I was like, I also like ice cream. And then I did it and I didn't like it. So I got rid of it. And that's a lot of what my mandalas are as well. It's a lot of trial and error, figure out what I like, figure out what I don't like. So this all kind of came about because my nephew liked to color mandalas and I like to create cute little doodles. And so I started creating mandalas for him. I think the first mandala I ever did was a little Stardew Valley fan art one. And then for my nephew, I've created his favorite, which are trains. And I've done 2 or 3 train mandalas. If it was up to him, I would do more, but I mean, there's only so many ideas I have for a train mandala, and I'm kind of run dry at this point. But if I could, I would definitely make him more train mandalas because he does love them. But yeah, so I have this one, and this actually is going to be on my Patreon. So I just started it. There's not a lot to it right now, but I do plan on putting up a free mandala every month, along with exclusive kind of first crack at the freebie that I'll be putting on my website every month. I used to put one on every Monday, and I made it for free every Monday. But now I want to create a book. So to keep some of that exclusive, I am limiting myself to one freebie a month. So one freebie for my website, and then one freebie for Patreon as well. And with Patreon, you'll get the freebie early. I think that's the way it's gonna go. And then whatever else I kind of feel like putting on there. I've already gotten a few ideas, but I want to save them for when I actually have patrons. So at least then they can kind of reap the benefit of that. And yeah, so I do have some ideas. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but it's all kind of a learning curve, and it's just, one step at a time. I've kind of tried to focus on that this month and get things going and ideas and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But this is something that if you wanted to color, you could get it off of my Patreon. Otherwise, you can always grab the freebie on my website, which I think was pears or something. I can't remember. I think I did like a bunch of famous pears, like a salt and pepper shaker and cookies and milk and things like that. All of that, I believe, too, I did a tutorial for pretty much every element on that mandala design. So if you wanted to see those, they're also on my website. And they are free for everybody. You can just follow along and create your own salt and pepper shaker, I believe I did avocados. I did salt and pepper avocados, cookies and milk, and I did something else too. I can't remember what it was now. But I did do other things. Eggs and bacon, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Eggs and bacon. I'm not a fan of bacon, but it looks cute. Kevin Bacon I'm a big fan of, but not regular bacon. But it was really cute to draw. So all of those there, which essentially means if you do the tutorials, you could create your own couples, famous pairs kind of mandala yourself, which was kind of my idea. So yeah, you can download that one for free as well, along with a bunch of others. I have a ton on my website that you can download for free if you're interested. I did with the sticks there. I did do a bit of, I guess, a draft or a sketch of it. I just took the one, copied it, and pasted it over just to make it easier on myself. You will notice that although I do use more than one layer, I will kind of go back and forth. So I may only have 3 or 4 layers for everything, but I just kind of take, like, if I have one line on, say, the one layer, then the next line I'll put on a different layer, and then I just kind of alternate back and forth. This strawberry was driving me insane. I don't know. It looks like a carrot, I think. I added little seeds. I don't think that helped at all, but I added them, so it is what it is. I will say, too, when I'm doing my mandalas, I do tend to put in a lot more detail on things than I normally would when I'm drawing. A lot of times when I'm drawing, I'll use color to create different things. Like, I wouldn't have put the seeds on for the strawberry if I was just coloring it. I would have just probably colored the seeds in. Same with, like, this cake I make, I put like a filling in it. I would have just colored that. I wouldn't have drawn the lines. But when it comes to the mandala, it's nice to have more to color, right? So I do a lot more line art than I normally would, especially for my own style. I like thick line art, but I also don't really do a lot of line art, if that makes sense. There's certain things that I just kind of leave out, and then I will color it. I would say the only problem with that is that sometimes I do forget the details that I wanted to add. So that's a thing that happens a lot. But yeah, so I pretty much have everything done. I always kind of go back in and look at like places that are white or there's not a lot of something going on, and I'll fill them in, sometimes with nothing more than these little tiny hearts or little squiggles or little like thought bubbles if I'm doing like a little character, just things like that. The flowers are another thing that I'll use to fill in a lot of. Stars is another good thing that I'll use to fill in. There's a lot of like little whatevers that I'll use to fill it in. Then I just kind of sign it and it's done. When I go to color it, I also use the symmetry. So I'll use that. I make sure to put my drawing assist on, and then when I color one thing, they all get colored. Now, I do like this because in most cases, when I color it, this is the way I want to color it. However, there are times when I want to have more than one color, I guess. Like if I wanted each of those cupcakes to be a different color, or even just every other cupcake to be a different color, I still do the same thing. I would still draw on the layer. I would still do my drawing assist, and then I would duplicate the layer, take off the drawing assist, and then just kind of erase every other one or something like that, depending on how I want to do it and what I want it to look like. In most cases, I like the symmetry of it. You can see here while I'm coloring it, I did find another little stray dot. It's like the bane of my existence when it comes to digital art. But yeah, so I do color it generally with the same settings so that I'll get the same results on all around it, and that's just my style. I just like it that way. You can do, multiple colors, things like that, but mandalas, I think in general, are usually pretty uniform in their colors as well. So I tend to stick to the same kind of color. But yeah, and then I also make sure, well, I shouldn't say that I make sure. I do my very best to keep my color palette limited. I generally fail at that. I like colors and I like every color in the rainbow and I always want to use every single one, but I do try to limit. So like I took my donut, and then for the most part I didn't stray from those colors. I did add the yellow, but for the most part, anything that was on that donut carries through for the rest. And if I was to create something with, say, a completely different color than most things, then I always try to find a spot where that color can also be incorporated so that it looks somewhat cohesive and, I don't know, less weird, I guess. But yeah, so I do that. And I will say, I mean, I did speed this up. It does take me quite a while to do the mandalas, especially when things aren't really going my way. Like that donut, I cut some of that out. Like that took me a long time to do that donut, which just sounds sad because it's just a circle, but it still was just really frustrating for me. I like things, as much as I doodle a lot of it and I don't do any kind of sketching or anything, I still want it to be perfect, even though I want it to be perfect and not at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but so yeah, they do take me a while. I do enjoy doing them though, so can't complain there, but they can take quite a bit of time, and when you're not going to like sketch out anything, then sometimes there's a lot of trial and error. And I will say for the bulk of them, this is what I do. I just create it and hope for the best type thing. Sometimes I have an idea, like in this case, I'm just like, I want to do the donut. Other times I have it completely and totally mapped out in my brain, or I've sketched something on paper and things like that, so I know exactly what I want. But for the most part, it's just kind of like I there's something cute and I want to draw it, and that's what I did. I know, like, and it doesn't even matter if it suits my general theme. I do try to keep the months the same kind of a theme. Like February is much more romantic and things like that. January, I tried to keep it very like snowy, But then in the middle of that, I just wanted to draw dinosaurs. So I did a dinosaur mandala. And, you know, why not? Like, dinosaurs lived with snow too, right? I don't know. I'm not a paleontologist. But I'm sure they did. And I just really, you know what? I don't have to explain myself. I just wanted to draw a dinosaur, so I drew a dinosaur. And I drew a bunch of them. So sometimes the inspiration just kind of hits me. And then there are times where I struggle hard to figure out what I'm going to do. And especially when it comes to doing mandalas, I find like I've done so many at this point that I've got a lot of the themes kind of covered. So, you know what? If there is a mandala that you thought would be cute or would like to see me do, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to do so. I don't know if I'll share more of my mandala ones with you. I would like to do some more kind of tutorial type things, but I definitely need to figure out my computer or my camera a little bit better. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave me a comment below. I'd love reading the comments, especially when they're kind. And if you if you're enjoying the content, please do subscribe, share, like all that good stuff. But until next time, guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.